Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol nהיה b'dvaro. Chaim, Chaim, Chaim bracha. Good Tavach, Shavua Tov, good week. We continue our mimer, our discourse. We're speaking about the miracle of the Jewish people, the story of Purim. What's the miracle? Because we're asleep, spiritually asleep, which causes God to be spiritually asleep. Asleep. You're not a protectorate then, when one is asleep. Can't protect yourself, let alone someone else. And that's what happened to Jewish people at this time. What does it mean to be asleep? It means the mind and the heart are not working in a normative way. Your mind understands, can discern. Your heart can receive the proper understanding and discernment from the mind. Right? It's not working. So we don't have an appreciation of who we are, what our purpose is, our connection to the divine, to God. All of that is asleep. But I might be asleep, but my heart is awake. Ani yeshena v'li be'er. As King Solomon says in the Song of Songs, I am asleep, but my heart is open. What does it mean, my heart is open? My heart is open because deep down in my heart, there is a connection. There's a very deep, essential connection. And I'm awake to the reality of that there is something divine in my life. There's something divine in this world. There is a connection, a very deep connection to the divine. Chaim. Such a deep one that I'm aware of divine presence. I'm aware of God's presence, that He is the true protectorate of the Jewish people. I'm aware of that deep down. Well, so that verse, I am asleep, but my heart is awake. Right, so the I am asleep means the mind, the heart, the inner part of the person. Really, that which we live with. We live with our minds, we live with our hearts. Right, with our perception of the world and our feelings. That's what we live with. That's asleep to anything that is divine. It's fully aware of, is the coffee good, not good? Right? Is the next, sensory experience, do I like it, not like it? But that's not what we're talking about. That's very self-directed. That's nothing divine about it. But my heart even at that time, is open. So let's understand that, what that means. So the verse continues, Kol doidi, the voice of my doidi, my beloved. Ani la doidi v'doidi li. The voice of my beloved, doifik, is knocking. And the voice is saying, Pischu li. That voice is saying, open up for me. Achaisi, my sister. Rayasi, my friend. Yoinosi, my dove. Tamasi, my pure one. 4 different dimensions. The voice of my beloved, the voice of God, is knocking. And this is what it's saying. Open up. Open up. Sorry, one brief second. Sorry, needed a tissue. So, open up for me. These 4 dimensions, sister, friend, dove, and pure, complete one. We'll learn more about what that means. But now, the focus is on that the beloved is knocking. And since the term is doidi, my beloved, it's speaking about a love, avaraba, a magnanimous love that is above, that's God's love, that is an expression of the essence of God. And it's for the essence of the soul down here. Without consideration, without looking at, without consideration of that soul, that it is sinned, it is removed itself from the path of connection to God, till it's missing all of these levels that we just spoke about. In other words, not only is there not a completion in the alignment between the soul down here with the doidi, with the beloved, with God, the essence of God above. There's not even the level of dove. There's not even a level of a friend or a sister. Again, what those levels we'll get into what that means. None of that is there. And yet, the beloved is crying out and knocking and saying, open up for me. Open up. Why? There's no friendship, there's no essential bond over here, like, brother and sister. Why open up? Why knock? Because there's an essential love. As the verse says, Malachi, Ahavti eschem amar Hashem. I loved you, I love you, so says God. Even though that Esav is a brother to Yaakov, to Jacob, right? They're twin brothers. Nonetheless, you I love, and not Asaph. You I love. So, as the verse says, the voice of the beloved is knocking and requesting, open up. What does it mean to open up? Open up what? Of course, if you read Shir Hashirim, the Song of Songs of King Solomon, it's a love story. A man and a woman. And the sages of the Talmud, questioned how people will take this. Will they learn it properly? As not just a love a love drama. So some felt that it would not be understood or appreciated properly. King Solomon's Song of Songs, not like his other teachings, Proverbs. There's teachings there. There's lessons. King David's Psalms, whoa, deep divine connection. Or from Ecclesiastics, also there's lessons in life. But here, it's just a story of a love drama. And here's the young man knocking on the door. So Rabbi Akiva said, no, it's got to be included and canonized and be part of the holy teachings, because everything else is holy, but Shir Hashirim is holy of holies. Wow. Which brings out 2 points over here that really connect with each other. 2 important points that connect with each other. One is, Holy of Holies is the time that the high priest, actually we learned in the last Torah portion, right, would go in to the Holy of Holies only one time on Yom Kippur, right, Day of Atonement. No one else could go in there, no other time could you go in there. It's the Holy of Holies. A relationship between man and woman, husband and wife, and in that relationship, the intimacy is called Holy of Holies. The rest of the world looks at relationship, the intimacy of the relationship, as at best a necessary evil, because that's how you propagate humanity. It's lust, it's pleasure, and what this is bringing out over here, as Rabbi Akiva says, no, Shir Hashirim, it's Holy of Holies. That relationship and intimacy is Holy of Holies. First point. Second point is that it's Holy of Holies, is that Holy of Holies means it's something more profound, more deeper. You have to look deeper. So a relationship, man and woman, husband and wife, is a deeper relationship. It's not merely about them. They actually embody the divine. They embody the divine, the male and female parts of the divine. And just as the male and female parts of the divine are bound up as one, so likewise, 2 halves of one soul, they're bound up as one. And the whole Shir Hashirim ultimately is a metaphor of our relationship with God. And every relationship we have, including, perhaps primarily, not perhaps, primarily, is a relationship that we have with God. In other words, God is a partner in the relationship. Ish is spelled, man is spelled Ish, Aleph Yud Shin. Isha is spelled, woman is spelled Aleph Shin Hey. They both spelled the same way with one letter distinction. Man has a Yud, a woman has a Hey. Yud represents Chokhmah, of man has more wisdom, woman has more Bina, which is represented by Hey. She has more discernment, man has more. Anyway. And the Yud and the Hey spell God's name. In other words, in man and woman, there is that. So is embedded, when they're united together as one, the name of God. Of course, take it away, and you're left with Ayin Shin, Aish, fire, double fire. And we have today 50% divorce rate. So Shir Shirim, the Holy of Holies, is in this metaphor, Pischuli, as the groom, God Almighty says, open up for me. So what's he asking? Open up. Open up. What should you open up? So as our sages explain, like the hole of a needle. Or actually, there's two understandings. Either the hole of the needle, which is a very small, space to put the thread through, or the end of the needle, the charara of the needle, which is even a smaller space, right? Hole of the needle is got to be open up big enough that the thread should get through. And sometimes the thread could be a thicker thread, so it needs a bigger hole. But the end of the needle, as the metal narrows to such a small little tip, the hole that it makes is even smaller. So two different Gear says two different ways that we could understand what it means to open up what, either the eye of the needle or the hole that the needle makes, which is very, very small again. Which is, the truth is, it's so small that after that there's nothing, right? Such a small hole it makes. And when we open that up, then God will open up for us. He'll open up for us the gateways that are huge to the inner sanctuary. Sometimes the Holy Temple, the opening of the ulam, the sanctuary of God, was about 60 feet, 60 to 80 feet high, 30 feet wide. God will open that up to us, the sanctuary of God, right? But what is it that we're opening up in order that we get that divine connection? Is that little point, right? That little point that the needle makes is so small. What is that point? It's called the Chassidus Nefesh. Chassidus Nefesh means self-sacrifice. In other words, to the point where there's no me. I sacrifice the me. And what's the me? What I want, what I think, and what I feel. That's the basics of a person. right? That you want, you understand, you perceive, and you feel, you have emotions. And that's put aside in order to connect to God. In order giving yourself over completely. So even if you don't get it, even if that's not what you wanted, but it's not about what you want. It's not about what you understand, perceive, and get in your head, or what your heart tells you. Yeah, you're able to put that all aside. In others, that's the little hole that's made, right? That's what the metaphor is over here. You're putting yourself aside in such a manner, like, there's no space for me. When we make that, then that means we're making space for the divine. Then God will open up the entryway to the huge entryway, as we just mentioned, those doors, right? That entryway that you will come to, which will be Achaisi, my sister, Rayasi, my friend, Yainasi, Dov, and Tamasi, my complete and whole one. Others, we're going to get something, we're going to become something much greater. I won't be just an embodiment of what I want, what I understand, and what I feel. I will be open to me will be because I'm able to put that aside. I become something much more, much greater. These 4 levels that we're going to go and speak about. Right? Wow. That's not what I get, but what I become in my relationship with the divine. That's very powerful. All right, folks. We'll see you soon. Rashi. Thank you. A reminder tonight, 6:30 for Torah studies.